this thing, my brother, had taken all the love and attention away from me. I got really angry with him, so I bit his ear to get my revenge. I am Dan Warburton, a transformational coach who's known for having enabled thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners to succeed in extraordinary ways. I've also got web spaces full of testimonials backing this up, and I'm often invited to speak to audiences of thousands around the world about what transformation makes possible. I now get to live an extraordinary lifestyle, and I want you to be able to experience the same. I wasn't someone who was naturally talented at anything. In fact, I failed most of my school education. My GCSEs, I barely passed enough to get into college. At college, I went off the rails and I didn't feel like I fitted in at all. By my early 20s, I tried my first business, as I told you in my previous video, and that just failed. And I continued going on through life, failing at whatever I attempted, whatever business. And even though I became quite skilled at many things, I could never seem to get the satisfaction that I dreamed of that comes with success and succeeding. And I spent about 10 years in self-development, spending time with people that were specialists in transformation and who studied ontology. And there was one moment when I had a huge breakthrough, and this breakthrough is what's now caused me to become a transformational coach. So during a conversation with one of my coaches, I was brought back to something that happened to me when I was 3 years old. And I'm sat in a double push pram and my brother's next to me. And it was a beautiful sunny day. And my mum, she came out the shop to give me what she bought. So I put my hands up so she could give me what she bought. But she seemed to ignore me and give it to my brother. I couldn't believe it. This thing, my brother, had taken all the love and attention away from me. I got really angry with him, so I bit his ear to get my revenge. And he screamed out crying and crying and crying. And my dad saw this, so he runs over and he says, "No, you mustn't do that. He's your brother, you must love your brother." And in that moment, I got really shocked because as my dad was saying that to me in this stern voice, everybody was standing around watching this happen. And I felt so embarrassed. And then what was even worse is I looked over and my brother was getting all the love and attention from my mum. And I saw that in that moment, I was thinking, I'm just not good enough, nobody wants me. When I saw this, the insight was so profound because I realised that that's how I'd interpreted myself and the world from that moment on. And so what happened was I realised that I'd spent my life trying to prove to people that I am good enough and I am wanted. And I would try really hard in everything and I would overwork long hours, leaving myself burnt out and tired and exhausted. Or in interviews, I would overtalk and overtalk. I also found it hard to make eye contact with people and I couldn't keep eye contact for long. And worst of all, with my dad, for the whole of my life, I would argue with him. And whenever he would try to tell me something, however loving it was, I was always there ready to kind of be angry and fight back him and prove to him, no, I am good enough. I do know what I'm doing. I am successful. And it meant that the relationship with my dad was just really hard. And of course it was with most of my family. And, I just tried really hard all the time. And that's what caused me to fail. Because I was driven by looking good and trying to fit in and trying to be wanted and be good enough rather than actually becoming successful. But once I saw that that's how I'd interpreted myself in the world, I got to see the event and I got to see the interpretation and I got to unlearn it and it vanished. Up until that point, I had no idea that I was being run by that. But once I transformed that way of thinking and viewing myself in the world, I broke through and I set myself free. From that moment on, I was then able to practice awareness of when I was being run by this I'm just not good enough, nobody wants me story. And instead was able to stay committed to a future that I wanted to create. And that's when I moved out of a realm of survival and into a realm of creation. And so from this, what I'd like you to take on is Practice being aware of seeing why you do what you do. Because if you're doing things from a place of trying to look good or trying to survive or fit in or be wanted or be loved, not that that's a bad place to operate from. In fact, it's totally natural, and I think we must operate from a place of wanting to be loved, because that genuinely is us loving ourselves, of course. But if we're doing it because we're in a realm of I'm not loved and I'm not wanted, that can cause us to really struggle and strain. And then what happens is our creative mind closes down and we can't creatively see an inspirational future, which is actually crucial for our success. So practice being aware of where are you operating from? Where are you being run from in your head? Yeah? Practice doing that work and free yourself of your past. Do the work to free yourself from your past and begin to be focused more into the future that you want to live. Take that on today and look out for my future videos. If you've got an entrepreneurial friend, then make them feel special by sharing this video with them. Also, feel free to contact me about anything. And don't forget, if you're truly committed to succeed, then hit that subscribe button.